The storm had torn through space like a giant ripping apart cloth. Elias's ship, once sleek and strong, was now a broken shell tumbling down through a strange planet's atmosphere. Sparks flew across the control panels as alarms screamed in his ears. His hands shook as he pulled at the controls, but nothing answered. The ship groaned like a dying beast. He braced himself. The crash was sudden and merciless. Metal screamed, glass shattered, and fire roared as the vessel slammed into the surface. Elias's body was thrown forward, pain exploding in his chest and arms. When everything finally grew quiet, he lay in the wreckage, gasping for air, every breath sharp and burning. Blood seeped from a gash on his side, staining his torn uniform. He crawled out of the ruined craft into the strange world. The air was heavy but breathable, carrying the scent of wet stone and something faintly metallic. Towering crystal formations rose like jagged towers around him, glowing faintly as if alive. Strange plants curled and uncurling with each faint breeze, their petals shimmering with ghostly light. It was a world both beautiful and haunting. Elias staggered forward, each step leaving a trail of red on the strange soil. His vision blurred and his strength waned. He knew if he did not find shelter soon, he would die here alone, on a world where no human had ever walked. A cavern opened ahead, dark but strangely inviting. Elias stumbled inside, leaning against the cool stone. The world outside seemed to hum faintly, but here, in the shadow, there was silence. He sank against the wall, fighting to stay awake. His eyes closed and darkness claimed him. When he woke, it was not silence that greeted him, but a voice, sharp, melodic, and full of anger. "You should not be here, human." Elias's eyes flew open. Standing before him was a tall figure, not human, not entirely alien in form, but something between both. She had long limbs, a graceful shape, and her skin glowed faintly beneath the surface as if veins of light flowed inside her. Her eyes were bright like twin stars, watching him with a mix of fear and fury. Elias tried to speak, but his throat was dry. He coughed, groaning in pain. The figure moved closer, kneeling beside him. Her expression softened, though her voice remained cold. "You are hurt, badly, but you cannot stay." She reached for him, her hand cool against his burning skin. He felt a strange comfort in her touch, though her body trembled slightly. She whispered words in a language he did not understand, then pressed her palm gently against his wound. For a moment, warmth spread through him, calming his pain. Elias's eyes drifted down to her arm, where a faint cut glowed against her skin. From it a drop of liquid fell, not blood as he knew it, but something luminous, silver mixed with blue. It landed near his lips. His body, weak and desperate, reacted before his mind did. His tongue brushed against it. Instantly, fire raced through his veins. His body arched and his heart thundered. His vision filled with flashes of light, shapes, and sounds that were not his own. He saw towering cities of crystal, rivers that shone beneath alien suns, and 1,000 voices whispering through time. The taste was strange, sharp, electric, alive. The alien woman gasped in horror, pulling her hand back. "That's my blood, human." "Stop drinking," she screamed, her voice echoing off the cavern walls. But Elias could not stop, not because he wanted more, but because the drop he had tasted still worked its way through him. His body shook violently as if caught between two worlds. His chest burned, and his eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. He reached out blindly, gasping, What is happening to me?" The woman staggered back, her face pale with fear. "You should be dead," she whispered. "No human can take the blood of continuance. It is not meant for you. It is not meant for any outsider." Elias clutched at his chest, but the pain was already fading. In its place came a strange energy, filling every broken piece of him. The wound on his side began to close, leaving only a faint scar. His breathing steadied and the weakness drained away. For the first time since the crash, he felt whole, stronger than before. The woman watched him in disbelief, her glowing eyes wide. "No, this cannot be. You are not supposed to survive." Elias slowly sat up, his body trembling but alive. He looked at her, confusion and fear in his gaze. "What did you do to me?"
"What was that?"
She shook her head, backing away. "It was not me. It was you. You took what was forbidden. You tasted what belongs only to my kind. Now you are changed." Her words filled Elias with dread. Changed? He looked at his hands. His skin looked the same, but beneath the surface he felt something humming, like a current of energy that wasn't there before. His heart beat stronger, his senses sharper. He could hear the faint hum of crystals outside the cavern, feel the pulse of life in the very air around him. He whispered, almost to himself, I feel alive. The woman's voice hardened again. Alive, you do not understand. You are cursed. That blood carries more than life. It carries memory, duty, and power. My people guard it with everything, and now it runs inside you. Elias struggled to his feet, leaning against the cavern wall for support. His eyes met hers. Then tell me who you are. Tell me why your blood saved me. She hesitated, torn between fury and sorrow. Finally, she spoke. I am Lizera, guardian of the blood, and you, human. You may have doomed us both. The cavern fell silent. Outside, the world pulsed with light, as if aware of the forbidden act that had just taken place. Elias stood trembling, caught between fear and the unfamiliar strength surging inside him, and Lizera, her glowing veins flickering faintly, looked at him with eyes that held more than anger now. They held the weight of destiny. Visions filled his mind. He saw rivers of light flowing through alien skies, temples of crystal rising from valleys, and faces that were not his own, tall, glowing figures staring at him with knowing eyes. Their voices whispered in an unknown tongue, yet somehow he understood pieces of it. Words like duty, continuance, and memory echoed in his thoughts. When he opened his eyes, the cavern ceiling shimmered faintly, as if it too carried life. He raised his hand and realized he could see tiny streams of glowing energy in the air, drifting like invisible dust. He had never seen such things before the blood touched his veins. Now the world itself seemed alive. Lizera had remained nearby, watching him from the shadows. Her expression was hard, but behind her eyes was something else, a war between anger and fear. At last she stepped forward. You are not the same as you were, she said quietly. Elias looked down at his hands. They trembled, not from weakness but from the strange power coursing through him. You're right. I don't feel human anymore. I feel stronger, faster, like I can sense everything around me. Her jaw tightened. That is not strength. It is the burden of my people. You have taken into yourself what was never meant for outsiders. That drop of blood should have killed you. Then why am I alive? Elias asked. His voice carried more confidence now, though inside he felt only confusion. Lizera hesitated, then turned away. I do not know. Perhaps your species is more stubborn than I thought. Or perhaps the blood itself chose you. But you must understand, Elias. You are dangerous now. To yourself, to me. To my people he stood, unsteady but able. His wounds were gone, only faint scars left behind. I don't want to be dangerous, he said. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to survive. Lizera faced him again. Her glowing veins flickered like fire beneath her skin. Survival always comes with a price. And now you have paid with something greater than you realize. Elias's head throbbed suddenly. He gripped his temples as vision surged again. He saw Lizera's people gathered in a circle of stone, chanting as glowing rivers flowed into them. He felt their fear of an unseen predator. He felt their pride in guarding their sacred essence. And then, for a brief second, he saw through Lizera's own eyes, a memory of her childhood, standing beside her elders as they warned her. Never let the blood fall into foreign hands. If it does, the world itself will awaken against us. The vision broke and Elias gasped. I saw them. Your people. I saw what they felt and I saw you. Lizera's face paled. Impossible. The blood carries memory, yes, but it was never meant to share with a human mind. This bond is unnatural. Before Elias could respond, the cavern rumbled faintly. Dust fell from above, and the crystal formations outside gave a low hum that sent a shiver through him. Lizera's expression darkened. They can feel it, she whispered. Who? Elias asked. The hunters, she replied, her voice trembling with anger. The ones who prey on us. They were locked away long ago, but the blood calls to them when disturbed, and now because of you they stir again. Elias clenched his fists. A mix of fear and guilt rose inside him. So what do we do? Lizera glared at him. We? No, this is your doing, human. I should leave you here to face them. But as she turned away, she stopped. The faint hum of the crystals grew louder like a warning drum. Elias stepped closer, his voice firm. You said it yourself. The blood chose me. Maybe it did for a reason. If these hunters are coming, maybe I can help. Lizera's hands curled into fists. She wanted to deny him, to push him away, but the truth weighed heavy. No human should have survived the blood. Yet Elias stood alive, changed, and somehow connected to her world in ways she could not explain. At last, she sighed. If you are bound to the blood, then you are bound to me. I will not abandon you, but know this. If you lose control, if the blood twists you, I will end you myself. Elias nodded, meeting her sharp gaze. Fair enough. But until then, we fight together. The cavern trembled again, and Lysera motioned for him to follow. She led him deeper into the underground passage, the glowing veins on her body lighting the way like living torches. The walls around them pulsed faintly, as if the world itself was alive and listening. As they walked, Elias began to feel more changes in himself. His steps were lighter, his breaths deeper. He could sense faint vibrations in the stone, almost like heartbeats. He could even sense Lysera's emotions when she walked ahead, her worry, her determination, her quiet grief. What are these hunters? Elias asked softly. Lysera's voice was bitter. Parasitic creatures. Long ago they sought to drain our kind of the blood. They could not create it, so they feasted on us. We drove them into the dark places of the world, sealed them away. But the blood remembers. It always calls to its enemies. And now, because of what you have done, they will come again. Elias frowned. Then maybe this is fate. Maybe I was meant to be here to stop them. Lysera glanced back, her glowing eyes narrowing. Do not speak of fate, human. Fate is cruel. It may have brought you here only to watch you die. Elias gave a small smile, though his heart was heavy. Then let's prove fate wrong. They reached a vast underground chamber where glowing crystals rose like pillars. Streams of liquid light flowed along the floor, converging into a central pool that shimmered with energy. Lysera knelt beside it, dipping her hands into the pool. The veins in her body glowed brighter as if recharged. She looked at Elias. This is the heart of continuance, she explained. It sustains my people. If the hunters reach this place, everything will end. Elias stepped closer. The pool shimmered, and he felt a pull deep inside as if it recognized him. When he reached out, the light rippled at his touch. Lysera gasped, pulling his hand back sharply. Do not. You are not ready. The heart will consume you if you take more than you can bear. But Elias's eyes burned with strange light. He whispered, I can feel it. Like it's calling to me. Lysera looked at him long and hard, then said, Perhaps it is. But remember, human, power always demands a price. At that moment, the cavern shook violently. A distant roar echoed through the underground. The hunters had awakened. Elias clenched his fists, his body humming with alien energy. Lysera rose, her eyes glowing like fire. Then let them come, he said. And for the first time, Lysera did not argue. The roar echoed again through the underground halls, deeper and closer this time. Dust rained from the cavern roof, and the glowing crystals around Elias and Lysera trembled, as if in fear. The sound was not just noise, it was hunger, ancient and endless. Elias's heart raced. The alien blood inside him pulsed with warning. He could feel the presence of the hunters moving through the stone, crawling like shadows given form. His fists clenched. He was terrified, yet stronger than he had ever been. Lysera's eyes glowed brighter and her voice was sharp. Stay close. Do not let them touch you. They do not kill quickly. They drain. Slowly. Elias swallowed hard. He nodded. The bond between them pulsed faintly, and he could sense her fear mixed with determination. For the first time he understood her not through words but through the shared rhythm of their linked blood. The ground split, and from the darkness, the hunters appeared. They were not like any creatures Elias had seen before. Their bodies were long and twisted, covered in black scales that shimmered with sickly green light. Their faces had no eyes, only gaping mouths filled with rows of sharp needle-like fangs. Long arms ended in clawed hands that dripped with strange black liquid. They hissed, and the sound echoed like screams inside Elias's skull. One of them stepped forward, sniffing the air. Its head tilted toward Elias, and it hissed louder. The other hunters followed, their bodies slithering and crawling from the walls and ceiling like a swarm of nightmares. Lysera raised her hands. The veins in her arms glowed brighter, and streams of light formed into a spear. She spun it once and faced the swarm. Stand firm, Elias. They will test you. Elias felt the blood inside him stir. Energy flowed from his chest to his arms, crackling like invisible fire. He lifted his hands instinctively, and to his shock, faint streams of light bent toward him, forming shapes that pulsed with power. The first hunter lunged. Elias moved without thought. His hand thrust forward and a burst of glowing force struck the creature, sending it crashing into the cavern wall. It shrieked, its body sizzling where the energy touched. Elias gasped. He had not meant to strike so hard, yet the power felt natural as if it belonged to him. Lysera stared at him briefly, astonished, but then turned back to the fight. Do not lose yourself in it. Control the blood, or it will control you. The swarm charged. Lysera's spear blazed as she cut through them with graceful, deadly movements. Each strike left trails of light in the air, each blow striking true. Elias fought beside her, his body moving faster than his mind could follow. The blood guided him, and with each strike he grew stronger. He felt their fear, the hunters shrinking back from his touch as if he carried fire they could not withstand. Yet with every moment, the blood whispered more loudly in his head. It urged him to give in, to stop holding back, to unleash everything. He gritted his teeth, refusing to surrender. The hunters were many, but the cavern gave them little room. Elias and Lysera fought side by side, their bond growing sharper with each movement. He could feel her exhaustion, her anger, her resolve. She could feel his fear, his strange hope, and his stubborn refusal to fall. But then the ground shook violently, and from the shadows emerged something larger, a hunter far greater than the others. Its body was massive, its head crowned with bone-like spines, and its mouth was wide enough to swallow a man whole. The swarm pulled back as their leader entered, its hiss deeper, carrying command. Lysera's face hardened. The Broodmaster! The creature fixed its eyeless face on Elias, and its hiss grew into a roar. Elias felt his body shake, the blood burning inside him as if answering a challenge. His vision blurred with flashes again. He saw Lysera's ancestors fighting the same beast in the past, losing many lives to trap it underground. The blood remembered. The Broodmaster lunged at him. Elias stood firm. His hands glowed with blinding light, and he struck forward. The blast met the monster head-on, but the Broodmaster roared through it, its massive claws swinging toward him. At the last second, Lysera leapt between them, her spear flashing. The claws struck the ground beside her, leaving deep cracks in the stone. Together, she shouted. Elias nodded. He drew deeper from the blood, but not recklessly. He focused, thinking of survival, thinking of protection. Light wrapped around his fists, brighter than before. Lysera's spear blazed like a star. They moved as one, their bond guiding their strikes. The battle was fierce. The Broodmaster's strength shook the cavern, but Elias and Lysera did not fall. With every blow, Elias felt his human resilience and alien power merge. He was no longer only a man, nor only a vessel for alien memory. He was something new, a bridge between two worlds. Finally, the moment came. The Broodmaster reared back, its chest glowing faintly where its life force gathered. Elias and Lysera shared a look, no words needed. Together they struck. His fists of light and her spear of fire driving into the beast's chest. The cavern erupted in a blinding flash. The Broodmaster screamed, its body splitting into streams of fading shadow before collapsing into dust. The remaining hunters shrieked and fled back into the cracks, vanishing into the dark. Silence fell. Elias dropped to his knees, panting. The blood inside him calmed, no longer screaming, but humming quietly like a heart at peace. Lysera stood over him, her chest heaving, her eyes glowing faintly softer now. "It is done," she whispered. Elias looked up at her, his voice hoarse. "Did we win?" She nodded. "For now. The hunters are broken. But you must understand, Elias. This world will never forget what happened. The blood will never forget you." He lowered his gaze, staring at his hands. They looked human, but he knew better. Inside, he was changed forever. "I don't know if I'm still the same man I was." Lysera knelt beside him. For the first time, her voice was gentle. "Perhaps not. But maybe that is not a curse. Maybe it is something unfamiliar, something new. Elias breathed deeply. The fear in him was still there, but it was no longer heavy. It had been replaced with something stronger, hope. He stood slowly, offering his hand to Lysera. She hesitated, then took it. The glow of their joined veins pulsed in unison, a sign of their bond. The cavern around them was quiet now, the crystals glowing gently like stars. The heart of continuance shimmered in the distance, unharmed. Elias looked toward it, then back at Lysera. Whatever comes next, he said, we face it together. Lysera studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Together. And so, in the silent cavern where blood and memory had merged, a new destiny was born. Not human, not alien, but something greater. Something unfamiliar.